I'm Allison Van Hooser, and I'm on a sold-out mission to develop highly successful leaders at all levels. In the 15 years I've been working throughout the food, financial, retail industries, and politics, I've become deeply aware of the powerful effects of leadership. In each episode, you will get strategies and actions you can use immediately in order to change you, your team, and your business. The question is, will you choose to own it? Will you put your stake in the ground and decide to do something with what you've learned today? This is Stake, the Leadership Podcast. It's not a bad idea for leaders to involve employees, but if you're involving employees with the intention that they'll learn more, become more invested in the business and in the team's success, and you're not getting that result, well, it's because you might only be involving employees. You're missing the other half of the equation to get those results you want. Because I'm doing more virtual work for clients these days, I often ask Willow and Lincoln, my two oldest kids, to play with Duke, my 3-year-old, while I work. My kids love Legos, so the go-to activity when the big kids are on Duke duty, as we call it, while I work, are Legos. My hope is that not just that they keep Duke occupied while I'm on virtual calls, but that when he plays with the big kids, that he will learn how to build, that he will learn bigger words, that he will learn how to play well with others and ultimately build a strong relationship with his brother and sister. You know, all of those goals sound similar to yours, right? You want to involve employees in projects or processes so that they'll learn more, so that they'll become more invested in the process and build a stronger team. So imagine my house, all of the kids at the table with the Legos spread everywhere. Do you know what happens when a 3-year-old sees a new, tall, freshly built building his brother or sister just created? Well, I can tell you that he doesn't stand back and say, wow. Actually, quite the opposite. Picture a teenager on level 11 using his arm like Thor's hammer. Boom! Then as Legos come crashing down without fail, the next sound coming is, Mom! And immediately, I know what's happened. Willow and Lincoln have involved Duke, but they have not engaged Duke. Here's what I mean. Involving someone looks like all 3 kids sitting at the table, each with their own pile of Legos. So likely the older 2 are building something with each other or that something that goes together. Duke, who's happy to simply be at the table with them, he's building by himself. Now, he'll look every now and then at what they're doing, but if he tries to help, he's quickly redirected or ignored. And eventually, Duke's going to get tired of being on the outside. He's going to get tired of being involved but not engaged. And that's when we have the King Kong situation. When someone is only involved, not engaged, it ends up being a no-win situation for everyone. However, both involving and engaging someone makes for a very different experience and result. Involving and engaging looks like all the kids are at the table playing with the Legos again, but this time they invite Duke to play a real part in their building process. They ask Duke what he thinks they should build. Then they listen and they actually consider what he suggests. And when Duke asks why a million times, they patiently answer his questions. They encourage him to put Legos on whatever they're building, even if it means they might have to do more work in the end fixing it. When Duke is involved and engaged, he learns, he has fun, they all grow stronger together, and that is a win-win for everyone. You see, in organizations, oftentimes well-intentioned leaders involve employees, but they don't reap the valuable results they want or they hoped for, they intended, because they didn't also engage employees. As a leader, if you want your people to perform better as well as create more respect and loyalty among your team, here are 2 actions for you to consider when it comes to both involving and engaging employees. Number 1, invite more people to important meetings. Now, sure, most people wouldn't be excited to attend another meeting, but high performers probably would be. The opportunity to learn beyond their current role and responsibilities is a big deal to employees who are looking to capitalize on opportunities. Ask yourself, is there an aspect of your business that some employees would benefit from understanding better? Maybe you could invite them to a meeting, a new loan officer to an asset liability committee meeting, a production supervisor to an annual operating planning meeting, emerging leaders to succession planning meetings, etc. And don't invite them and let them sit on the side. Instead, let them play with your Legos. Let them build with you, not near you. Welcome questions, not silence. Be the leader that identifies people with potential and involves them and engages them in experiences that helps them grow. Now, number 2, give increased responsibility, then encourage your people to try and fail. It can be hard to trust someone who hasn't yet proved themselves to successfully complete a job or a part of a big project. Although, if given the opportunity, just like a really smart toddler, a person may surprise you with their success. On the other hand, the person very well may fail. Duke may put the wrong size Lego in the wrong spot or accidentally knock something over while trying to help. But after he recognizes the mistake, he will work to fix it. And it's unlikely that he will make that same mistake again, which means he becomes a stronger part of the team. Yes, failure, it stings, but pain is one of the best teachers. Be the leader that creates increasingly strong, productive teams because you appreciate failed attempts that eventually deliver positive results. The very best leaders understand that true leadership is serving others. Involving and engaging employees is an act of service, one that will take serious time and effort, but that act of service will be one that will improve your team and your leadership. I want to encourage you today to take your leadership to the next level by both involving and engaging your team members better. And it starts first with a little assessment. Ask the question, who on your team is not involved? And then ask the question, who on your team is involved but not actively engaged? After you know who is where, work to bring everyone on your team to involved and engaged status. This is where you will reap the benefits of a smarter, stronger team. Thank you so much for tuning in today. For the links to everything mentioned in this episode, check out the show notes. And if you'd like more practical, tactical leadership development content, go to www.vanhooser.com for my weekly blog and all the links to my social media channels. And if it makes sense to start improving the leadership skills of your managers and supervisors, let's talk about training options for your team. Email me at allison@vanhooser.com. Leaders, make the choice today to put your stake in the ground and own your leadership success. This is Stake, the Leadership Podcast.